Hello and welcome back to the Hoof Football Podcast. I'm your host Ben, and today I'm joined by my good friend Lewis and my good friend Josh. How are we doing, guys? It's not been a great week for all of our football teams currently. Josh, your lot got battered, Burnley, so we'll start with that. Obviously, we're 1-0 up. What happened?
Scott Parker happened.
Oh, oh, fair.
Um, I won't lie to you, mate. When we equalised, I turned it off
Yeah, fair.
because I knew it was only going one way,
I
and
think
it
uh,
did.
I think our mate Dylan probably did at that point as well.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dylan.
yeah. For
Um,
context, listeners, Dylan's a Spurs fan, so
but good news is Parker is talking like he won't be here next year, like he's given up. So
I
as
don't
a
think he will.
positive,
Yeah.
no, no.
I'd be surprised. Any Josh Lucas insider knowledge on who you're going to go for?
No. Solskjaer is a name that gets thrown about a lot,
Fair,
but that
fair.
would have been good like last year, not
Yeah,
when we've been relegated for the third time in a row.
could be Liam Rosenior. Lewis, Chelsea aren't doing well. He might be up for the sack. What's happening there, mate?
If I'm honest, I'm similar to you with Middlesbrough in that I've just become numb to my own football team. Obviously, Man United, like it looked like we had quite a few chances and shots compared to them, but we just can't at the minute in front of goal take any chances. And yeah, I've kind of just given up with Senior. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt at the start when everyone was calling him a PE teacher. He's proved that he is a PE teacher, not a very good one as well, the annoying one. And yeah, we're not doing very well at the minute, so
No,
we've scored in 4 games. It's not great.
no, and you haven't scored in any of those games either.
No, we've not scored or won. So
Yeah.
life's great. And yeah, we're basically struggling for Europe at the end of the season at this point.
Well, but you did score seven against Port Vale, so it's not all bad. It's not all bad. You just got all your goals there, and now that's it for the season. I reckon
You got
schedule a
this.
friendly against Port Vale next week. Hit another six, and then maybe we'll get the confidence back. Yeah, well, you alluded to it there. Obviously, as longer term listeners know, I am a Borough fan, and it's been pretty rough going for the last 6 or 7 games now without a win, where we just create a load of chances and then concede late on. This time it was a last minute penalty that Jack Clark converted that just wasn't a pen. But Lewis can attest I didn't react because I feel nothing anymore. Um,
Yeah,
bring on a playoff semi-final loss.
at least you're not an Arsenal fan.
No, no, it could be worse. It could be worse. Well, we'll get on to the crux of what we're talking about today. And Lewis had alluded there actually about the European chasing battle because today we're talking about the best 11 of those European chasers. And so obviously you've got Chelsea currently in sixth. It's then what Everton, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, Sunderland, Fulham, essentially. That's six there in that gap, basically. There's 3 points between Fulham in 12th and Chelsea in sixth, which is mental. So it's all to play for with what, 5 games to go. And so we want to talk about that today because Lewis isn't very optimistic on how Chelsea are doing. He thinks they might drop down even lower. I think you said 10th earlier, right, Lewis? Which
Yeah, yeah. I've given up with Chelsea this season. I think that we haven't got what it takes to beat on paper the easier teams. For example, you've already said that I think we go and lose to Forest, which will be a lot of Spurs fans will be obviously really happy about that. But yeah, I don't think we can get across the line in most games at the minute.
I mean, if you're not scoring, yeah, probs. So yeah, we're just talking about the best 11 from those teams. Now, there's a limit of a maximum of two per team. So Lewis and Josh have prepared a little starting 11 that I'm going to judge. So we'll get into it. We'll start with the goalkeeper and defence, and we'll start with Lewis. Go on, Lewis.
Yeah, so in goal, I've gone for a Sunderland goalkeeper, and I've gone for Robin Roofs. A little bit of an unsung hero, I'd say, this season in terms of the vast majority of players that came in this summer at Sunderland, and I think he's got his credit, but he's kind of his positioning and stuff like that. I think that he's been probably one of the signings of the season, a very shrewd buy that's proved to be really, really effective. He's got 29 appearances, nine clean sheets this season, and 92 saves. He's up there with kind of some of the best goalkeepers in the league for his stats, and I just think that he's probably one of the better goalkeepers at the moment. Right back, I've gone for Michael Coyote of Brentford because that man can throw a ball. Let me tell you this, he's great at the long throws, and that's what I want my team to be like. I want a bit of everything in my team. But he's also 60 tackles, 7 clean sheets again. He's solid. I think that he's all round very good going forward as well as being defensively kind of sound. So I've got Coyote at right back. I've then gone for a centre-back partnership of Alderate at Sunderland, Omar Alderate, and I've gone for Jan-Paul Van Hecker. Formerly, I know that Ben loves him, seeing as I think you put him up there for an award earlier in the season on a podcast episode. And again, 7 clean sheets, 177 duels won, 164 clearances. Like he's up there with some of the better kind of stats for the centre backs in the league. And I think that he's very good on the ball. And Alderate, I looked at Dan Ballard similarly because I wanted someone kind of, he's very physically imposing, but I think Alderate's had the kind of the better season. And with how I've kind of lined my team up, I just think that I wanted to kind of get a Sunderland player in this position. And then left back, for me, arguably one of the best left backs this season, Adrian Truffert at Bournemouth. 33 appearances. He's won 181 duels, 9 clean sheets, 87 tackles. Again, a great signing for Bournemouth, obviously to replace Kirkes, who went to Liverpool this summer. I think he's gone under the radar slightly, but he's been a very, very cheap kind of good signing for them. And I think, I think that he's a very good left back. So that's my kind of back four and my goalkeeper.
Okay, it's solid. I mean, there's 2 Sunderland players in there, but there's going to have to be minimum 1 for this format, unfortunately.
I did risk it, yeah.
Yeah, sadly, I can't really penalise you this time, as much as I'd love to. So yeah, solid back 5, I guess technically. Josh, what have you got for us?
Funnily enough, I've gone quite similar as Lewis. Obviously, there's only so many you can choose from, and obviously you're not going to like it, Ben, but I've gone with a Sunderland goalkeeper. As Lewis says, kind of an unsung hero, and kind of gone a bit under the radar, which I'm not going to go into all of it, as Lewis has done quite a good explanation, which makes my job a little bit easier. Right back, I've gone for Hill at Bournemouth. Once again, a bit of a play, not really like expected much from him this year, but obviously he's coming for Bournemouth and quite solid. Anyone who plays FPL know that he's incredible value for money. 4 points today, I think. But honestly, whenever I've watched him, he's looked fairly solid down my right-hand side. My centre half, I've gone with Nathan Collins of Brentford. Once again, for me, he doesn't get spoken enough about. Obviously, about quite a poor 18 months, let's say. And it was a bit of a shock when he went to Brentford. But I feel like, especially when Keith Andrews had really come into his own of how he wants to play as a centre half. And he's played to Brentford's strengths as well and fitted in really well and just helped him get up the table, really. Other centre half, gone with Van Hecker, sorry. Obviously, same again as what Lewis said, has been fairly solid this year. Obviously, he's been around it for long enough now where he knows the Premier League. And for me, I don't think he'll be too far away from getting probably the top 6 move if he carries on his form. Left back, we're on with Truffert. Obviously, as Lewis said, been fairly solid. Obviously, taken on a big role after trying to take over Kirkes. And obviously scored on Saturday against Newcastle. So yeah, I think he's been fairly solid.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Truffert scoring didn't annoy me because I nearly brought him on a fantasy team and then didn't. So that was fun. So thanks for reminding me of that, Josh. My immediate thoughts on both of those is no Jordan Pickford. Is that because you've got 2 Everton players further on, or?
Yeah, mine is for that reason. I had a different goalkeeper, and actually, fully enough, I had Kelleher at Brentford, but then positioning, I struggled elsewhere. But no, I have got 2 Everton players further down. I was quite surprised with the Hill shout, just because Jimenez has played a lot this season. I know that I think Hill, for like kind of, as you said, someone that's emerged and maybe a surprise this season, could be a good shout. But in terms of maybe a best 11, I thought maybe there are better alternatives possibly. I don't know what you two think.
It's same as you with the whole Everton thing. There's obviously you can look at so many per team, and that's where I have to work it. But for me, Hill's look more solid as a right back compared to Jimenez. I feel like Jimenez wanders a little bit and can leave him quite open down that side. Whereas, don't get me wrong, Hill can go forward, but I think defensively he's a lot better than Jimenez.
I mean, my main thing is that he's been playing more as a centre half this season, but I know he can play it right back. I think it's just the way they kind of tilt the formation at Bournemouth because Jimenez bombs forward and Hill covers the right hand channel. So I don't hate it. I think Yeah, they're both solid to be fair. Like it's hard for me to pick one. I mean, you've both got what Robin Ruffs, Van Heck, and Trafford, so it's just the other two, and that's what Nathan Collins and James Hill versus what was it? Some person who plays for a shit club in the northeast, and Michael Coyote. So we'll move on to the midfield, but I'll give it
Really
Josh
well, that
so
money.
far. I'll give it Josh so far just because he's gone for the one Sunderland player. I know I said I wouldn't penalise you, Lewis, but
Yeah,
I'm in charge, so have
fair
that.
enough.
Yeah, Josh, you can give us your midfield, mate.
We decided it's 4-4-2.
It's a 4-4-2, mate. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
give us your wingers as well.
Yeah. So on my right wing, I've got Harry Wilson. Um, Obviously, we've known his quality for so long. I feel like this year he's really come to his own. There's a reason he's so high up in the assist chart. And also, he props up with goals now and again, important goals as well. I feel like he'd really kept Fulham ticking this year and kept in games where there's not been a lot of quality. He has poured out that moment of magic, just either get him back in the game or put him ahead. Unfortunately, Ben, in my midfield, I've gone Granit Xhaka. Um, Obviously, he's been hailed as one of the signs of the season. I feel like he has fairly controlled that midfield most weeks for Sunderland, especially today against Villa. I feel like he did really well to get him back into the game. My other midfielder is Dewsbury Hall. Same kind of process of an Everton team who can be quite defensive. He does well to carry the ball up the field and create chances. Um, Once again from nothing, obviously does his defensive work as well. On my left, I've got Iliman Ndiaye. Once again, main player for Everton. As I said, we're a few players in my defence. I can't imagine he's too far away from possibly moving on to a big, sorry, Everton fans, but bigger side who are going to be pushing for Europa League and Champions League every year.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. A slam dunk in there with Harry Wilson. Like, I think he's absolutely got to be there. Like, he's been ridiculous this season. Don't remember the second name you said, to be honest. Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, I
But
definitely spelled it wrong, so don't worry.
yeah, probably. Probably. I think you said it right, to be fair. Dewsbury Hall.
Oh,
There's maybe a different Everton player that I'd have in there, but I'll hear out what Lewis says first. And then yeah, and Jai. I mean, just quality. Yeah, what look, unbelievable to watch as well. I agree. Like I think he is one that's probably on the move relatively soon, right? I think the weird thing is, right, he's probably someone who'd be on the move to like a Spurs if Spurs weren't where they are.
yeah. If
Like that's
Spurs were
the
in
kind of
European football,
reasonable
then
step
he'd
up.
be
Maybe an
same with
Aston Villa.
Heck as well, probably. He
Yeah,
might seem like a player which should go there.
I'm sure Chelsea would love Van Heck to be honest, take him there. Maybe an NGI at Villa. I wouldn't mind that. That's a nice little move. That's
Yeah,
tasty.
yeah.
Lewis, give us your midfield four, please, mate.
Yeah, so Harry Wilson, as you've already said, 10 goals this season, 6 assists. He kind of was the obvious answer on the right hand side. We know that his delivery and his set piece kind of quality. Midfield, I had two different names. I did have an Everton midfielder, but I had James Garner. We've seen his emergence this season where he got a call up for England. Again, 32 appearances, 2 goals, 6 assists, but he's up there for tackles with 95. And he's probably, I'd say, quite a good all round midfielder. I think that he brings in my midfield that balance. He does the defensive kind of duties and that work rate kind of on the ball and stuff like that. I've partnered in with Enzo Fernandez just because I think although a lot of the Chelsea players have struggled this season and we're going on current form, I think that he has possibly been probably one of Chelsea's better players amidst obviously the controversy where he's been left out of the team recently and missed 2 games. He's got 8 goals in 31 games. He's got 3 assists. And within that Chelsea team, at least, I understand that Granit Xhaka is probably a better leader, especially in that Sunderland team. But in the Chelsea team, Fernandez is that leader as much as we've kind of missed him the last 2 games. And I do think that he's obviously a great player. So therefore, I think Fernandez and Garner kind of partners quite well in midfield. And then left wing, you had to go for Iliman and Jai as well. So I have gone similar in that regard. 6 goals, 3 assists. You want them players that can change games, them players that are obviously kind of got that quality on the ball, and he's just that kind of guy that can run in behind, that can do that moment of magic. So yeah, he was again an obvious pick on the left hand side. So it's just them two different midfielders really.
Yeah, so we're following similar lines in both your teams across the whole thing. I do think Wilson and Njai probably the best. I mean, Wilson 100% slam dunk. Njai is, could you maybe put a Kevin Schade in the mix? I mean, he's definitely nowhere near the level of ability, right? But season wise, he's had a good year. You couldn't put a Kerem Matoma this season. Maybe a Garnacho. No, no,
I
definitely.
think I think midfield wise, like there was a couple of names floating around. I mean, Alex Scott's a good one. He's had a good season, I think, for Bournemouth. Obviously scored recently against Arsenal, but I do think he's quite similar to Garner, just maybe not got as much praise this season. But he's another player for me that was kind of on the potential. Dewsbury Hall again, like obviously that Josh included was someone that I looked at, and it was just a case that I thought Garner was maybe a bit more all rounded.
Yeah, well, Garner was the other Everton midfielder that I'd alluded to, in terms of someone that I would pick over Dewsbury Hall for this season. You've raised your eyebrows there, Josh. I'll come to
Mm,
that. Don't
I
worry.
was following, don't worry. Fucking hell.
But like Dewsbury Hall, obviously, like a brilliant player. I just think because he was out for quite a while in the middle of the season, that's why I'd edge it to Garner. Um, but obviously, you've gone Dewsbury Hall over Garner, Josh. So talk me through that decision.
I feel like we've been waiting so long for Dewsbury Hall to like show his quality in like, don't get me wrong, we knew he was good at Leicester, but to have a full Premier League season where he's really shown his worth to a team is what we've all been waiting for. So we kind of thought that happened Chelsea, but it's not happened. And then the fact is we've gone into an Everton team who, let's say, we've kind of changed the style, obviously, but coming with Grealish in as well probably helped that. But the fact he's been able to go in and play his game and really kind of dragged Everton up the table a little bit for me. Um, Whereas with Garner, we kind of knew what he was about, and I feel like when you have a player like Dewsbury Hall next to you, who is probably a box to box, um, it allows Garner to go and play his game as well, and more relaxed, where you're not going to have a midfielder who's never going to be next to him. Dewsbury Hall, like if Garner bombs on, Dewsbury Hall will sit back and take the reins,
Mm,
which I feel like they complement each other really well. So it could have, as we said, it could have been either. But I
okay.
think Dewsbury Hall has come in and allowed Garner to play that way.
I'm glad you've added that bit about it could have been either because I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
for you to say like Dewsbury Hall compliments Garner, obviously it's the other way around too, right? So I'm glad you touched on that because that would have been my point. Yeah, I think you definitely could have had either. I'm not mad about either shout. They've both been quality this season. Enzo Fernandez, I think, is the interesting one. Like ability wise, he's there. Um, and when I've watched him this season, like there's been a couple of games. I think particularly the Wolves game. I remember him being in my FPL team and not producing anything, and that stung because he was running that game. It was unbelievable. Um, but yeah, to be fair, at this point, lads, we're pretty close. Like I'm not sure who I'd edge it to at this point, so we'll see who you've both put up top. You've got two forward slots. We're going to start with you, Lewis. And that's the final teller of who's going to get this win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Josh hasn't got any Chelsea players at this point, so maybe he'll end it with zero, but we'll see. But I've
Lynn's on
gone for I've gone for João Pedro just because not only has he scored 14 goals in 32 games this season, and again I think he's got a mixed reception in terms of some people have kind of maybe criticised him this season about how he's played and maybe his impact at Chelsea, but then at the same time, you can't really get away from the fact that he has scored 14 goals and that relatively you'd say he's had a good season as well as Chelsea kind of playing really poorly and not having a great season themselves as a team. But I do think that he's that player that kind of, especially with two up front, can play off of more of a kind of target striker, that more kind of physical striker. He's got kind of that kind of trick, the tricks and a little bit more agile on the ball and his movement and things like that, similar to kind of a Nicholas Jackson when we used to have him at Chelsea. He's got more of that movement and capabilities, especially in a front two. And I've obviously partnered him with the one that I think has to be in everyone's team, as you said to me before, which is Igor Thiago. I've not even said his name like that. Igor Thiago. 33 games and 21 goals, obviously only behind Erling Haaland this season. His kind of fairy tale story and his emergence after obviously Brentford lost Ivan Toney, and then last season he got an ACL injury, I believe, and he was out for the entirety of the season and really struggled with kind of fitness. And then this season he's come out of nowhere and really kind of shone for Brentford, properly kind of worked with their kind of tactics and their identity under Keith Andrews. So yeah, it had to be Thiago just because again he's got the Brazil call up and he's having a great season.
Yeah, yeah, fair. You mentioned about João Pedro there. Like, I know you say he can kind of play off someone else and use a more physical striker to bounce off. I think, to be fair, he's been showing that he can lead the line by himself as well, right? He can be that physical presence because a lot of the time he has been leading it by himself because it's just Liam Delap or Mark Guiu as the other option, who aren't really hitting the level that you'd be thinking Chelsea would want to hit. And yeah, I agree. Igor Thiago, surely a slam dunk, right, Josh?
Yeah, I've gone Thiago as well. Obviously, as Lewis said, obviously to go from a player who obviously was unfortunate to miss the whole last season by doing his ACL and to come back and hit the ground running the way he has. Like you see it a lot where a lot of players will do for ACL or ankle ligaments, for example, and they just won't be the same player again. But the fact that not just his goal scoring, just all around for Brentford has been unbelievable. But today, and obviously, there will have been a bit more pressure on him because of the injury. Of well, are we going to get what we saw in pre-season before he signed, or are we going to get a flop? So the fact that he's hit the ground running like that is unbelievable. Obviously, talk of Brazil World Cup call up as well. Um, my other striker is Danny Welbeck.
Yeah,
Uh,
fair enough.
for me, obviously, I get we talk about the season, but the fact that of his age, obviously, João Pedro going to Chelsea as well, and we didn't really like the fact that he's been able to step up into that role and score so many goals, especially at his age, and playing a lot of minutes for someone that old, and showing his quality like week in week out, even away from the scoring. I feel like when you have someone with that much experience on a pitch, it helps other players around you, which is for me is I've kind of realised it's helped Brighton push up the table a little bit more, just because we've been able to see out games because we've got the all ahead, like maybe like the little stuff of going to the corner and wasting a couple minutes there and stuff like that. That's what Welbeck can give to a team like Brighton, who would normally be scrapping for a mid-table place, but now they're actually pushing for Europe, which is amazing with the team we've got.
Yeah, yeah. I think Welbeck was probably the main other striker you'd have. I mean, Krupi in the conversation maybe for either of you.
Yeah, definitely. I looked at Groupie. I think, like you say, double figures, and he's broke a record for like being a teenager in his first season in English football to hit double figures. So he's definitely got to be in the mix.
Yeah, I've used both my Bournemouth players, so I bug about it really.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was aware of that, but I thought Krupi definitely worth a shout because he's
But,
had a great season. Same as Welbeck, right? Like fair play to like you say, he's 34, 35, Welbeck. And he smashed it. I know, Lewis. When we spoke about it earlier, you were looking at having him in, but you've obviously gone João Pedro in the end and Igor Thiago. What
Yeah,
made you change your
I'm
mind?
surprised. I'm surprised a little bit that like Josh hasn't got a single Chelsea player, just because I get this season we've been extremely poor, but sometimes you know, sometimes like it's like surely one of them has got the quality no matter what, where like they're still performing. I thought João Pedro fairly obvious maybe with 14 goals. Enzo for me, I know is a little bit more of a controversial one, but even Mark Cucurella at left back, I thought at least one of them could get in.
I mean, no one said Reece James at this point, and I just want to point that out.
No, I looked at him, but then for me, it was the case of he has played more consistent minutes. That's kind of, but more recently in this bad rut of form, he's been rotated a lot with Malo Gusto, and Gusto been playing more predominantly. I don't know if that is fitness or injury. He was left out of the last England squad because of injury. So again, that seems to have affected him a little bit. But I do, we know on his day, it's always the case of on his day, but we're going in form right now on a consistent basis. And I just felt that there were more players at right back, like maybe Mukiele or Coyote, or obviously Clint Hill, as Josh has said, that were more consistent.
Not Clint Hill, mate, James Hill.
Oh, yeah.
You do that often, by the way. You do that
I
a
always
lot of
do
the
it.
time.
No, I always do it, yeah.
Yeah, Josh.
Charles Hill.
Obviously, Josh, you've kind of picked James Hill over Reece James. Was that conscious? Have you just forgotten Reece James exists?
No, you talk about this season, and I feel like don't get me wrong, when he's played, he's been amazing, and he's been great for that Chelsea team. But his injury is what everyone talks about. You, if it's like one every 6 game weeks, let's say, and then he's out for 5. It's been so stop and start. He can't go in like for me that team of the best, if you get what I mean. When there's been
Yeah.
other players doing it consistently.
I mean, he's made 27 appearances this season, right? He started 20, so it's not like he's played no minutes at all.
No,
And when he has had those minutes, he's been quality. I mean, I'm just looking now in terms of James Hill's season. He's made 24 appearances, started 17, so he's actually played less than Reece James.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. If I was picking this team, Reece James would be a lock for me. That's all I'm
But
saying.
in a Bournemouth team, who probably shouldn't be around there really, and a Chelsea team who should be getting European football every year, it's more impressive for me.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll let the people decide.
that is a fair shout though. The fact that like Chelsea, in a way, are the team out of all these players and this team who shouldn't even be in this kind of best of the chasing pack because they shouldn't be in the chasing pack. But we've just been so poor. So in a way, I understand the point there of like you've got to give credit more to kind of the players of no disrespect, but like Bournemouth, Brentford, who are being more consistent than kind of players.
Well, yeah, we'll let the people decide. So I'll run through your teams. I've noted them down, and then viewers, listeners, let us know what you think. We'll pop them out on the social media. So for Josh in goal, we had Robin Roofs. We had a back four of James Hill, Nathan Collins, Jean-Paul Van Heck, and Adrian Truffert. We had a midfield of Harry Wilson, Granit Xhaka, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, and Iliman Ndiaye. And then up top, it was Danny Welbeck and Igor Thiago. And for Lewis, relatively similar. Robin Roofs in goal, Coyote at right back, centre backs of Alderete and Van Heck, with Truffert at left back again. And again, you've got Harry Wilson in the midfield alongside James Garner, Enzo Fernandez, Iliman Ndiaye, and then up top, João Pedro and Igor Thiago. So let us know who you think has picked the best 11 of the European chasers so far, chasers this season. And we'll be back shortly for a quiz. Hello, and welcome back to Hoof It, where it's time now for the quiz. Just to quickly address it, Josh hasn't now been taken hostage to another room. We're not on a separate day. He's just turned his light on. So we can now see Josh's face, which is a benefit for us all, I suppose. Yeah, quiz time. And we're going to start off with the Merseyside derby, which obviously Liverpool did win on Sunday, the day we are recording this. It's the first fixture played between these two at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. So what a moment. Not a way that Everton fans wanted to celebrate, I'm sure. So yeah, it was won by a very late Virgil van Dijk header, reminiscent of his debut for the Reds in the FA Cup third round on the 5th of January 2018. So, can you tell me the Everton side from that day? It was a 4-2-3-1. Can you tell me the Everton team from the FA Cup third round defeat to Liverpool on the 5th of January 2018?
I fear I'm getting 0.
And let me tell you, there's a name on the bench that me and Lewis mentioned earlier, so it'll mean nothing to anyone else. Benny Baningime.
Yeah,
Mentioned him out of nowhere for no reason earlier, and he's on the bench. So, nearly gave you the Liverpool team, but I think there's too many locks in there. You know, you've got a Bobby Firmino.
This could easily be one of them where, like, I put down an 11 and it's just no one's in the team.
Yeah, you put down 11 of the people in the squad, but not playing.
What do you say the formation was?
A 4-2-3-1, my friend. On the bench for Liverpool, though, were Danny Ings and Dom Solanke. So, what a time to be alive. And a certain Ragnar Klavan, Estonia's finest export. Hell of a team. Hell of a team. This was an Everton team managed by Sam Allardyce as well.
Is this 17-18, do so?
Yeah, January 2018.
Right.
I remember actually being on the school bus, chatting to my mate who was a Liverpool fan about the Van Dijk goal. So it's a bit of nostalgia for me there, and also viewers can guess at my age. You could enjoy something there. That's a little
old as fuck.
Oh, hang on, I was going to say I'm the youngest one here, but I'm not.
Me.
I am actually. You know, you're way younger than all of us.
Yeah, and you live with me. You paid up.
Less of that, please. Less of that on official podcast channels. Okay, how are we doing for a team, guys? How are we coming?
I've got one.
So you've got one?
No, I've got a team.
Oh, okay. Is there 11 people in this team?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, amazing. Lewis, is there 11 people in yours?
I'm really struggling, but I've got one more to do.
All right. There's some names in this team, by the way.
Oh, you know what? I'll chuck in this guy for no reason whatsoever.
There's some absolute names in this team. And on the bench.
There's one player I'm happy I've got in this team just for the randomness of it. Right, I'm done with a really rubbish team.
Josh, you done as well?
Yep.
All right, amazing. Lewis, you're going to go first, mate.
I apologise to all Everton fans and football people with knowledge. Stecklenberg in there.
Okay.
Cuco Martins, or Martina, right back. I've gone for Phil Jagielka and Ashley Williams. I have no clue whatsoever if this is the right period.
Okay.
Luca Dean's chucked in at left back. You said Sam Allardyce, so I thought, let's go Brexit football with Gareth Barry and James McCarthy as centre midfield. And then I just thought chucking a bit of Gylfi Sigurdsson and then I was really panicking, so I had Aaron Lennon, Kevin Morales, and then I thought, you know what, Moise Keane can stick in there. Why not? They're Moise Keane.
Okay. Lewis, I've noted down your score. Josh, let's hear yours.
Is it Joe Robles?
Okay.
Kenny, right back. Funes Murray and Ashley Williams. Brian Oviedo. What was his name? Morgan Snyder. Klassen, Sigurdsson, Rooney, Luckman, and Calvert-Lewin.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see who's going to get no points here. It's me.
No, it's very close, actually. It's very close. I'm going to tell you some of the names on the bench. They include a Joel Robles.
Yeah.
They include a Mr. Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
They also include Tom Davies, Nikola Vlasic, Umar Niasse, and Ademola Lookman as well. Made it on the bench. By the way, I love the Ramiro Funes Mori shout. But the team goes as such. You've got Jordan Pickford in goal, who neither of you said. He was there at this point. John Joe Kenny at right back, so props for getting that. And then the centre backs were Phil Jaggs and Mason Holgate, who you both missed out. Good shout from you, Lewis. Cuco Martina, actually at left back.
Yes.
Love it.
Love it from both of you. In midfield, you both got one. Morgan Schneiderlin is in there. Wearing the number 2, by the way, apparently, which I hate.
Yeah.
And then James McCarthy. They were the 2 holding midfielders. And further forward, Gylfi Sigurdsson off the left, Wayne Rooney in the 10, Yannick Bolasie off the right, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top. So the scores as it stands are Lewis on 4, Josh on 5, as we go into the rest of the quiz. Question 2. Which of these players has scored more Premier League goals this season? Casemiro, Zian Fleming, Jared Bowen, or Beto? Which of them has scored more Premier League goals this season?
Jared Bowen, Zian Fleming, Casemiro, and who?
Beto. Push you both for answers.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I've got an answer.
Go on, Josh.
Fleming.
Lewis?
The last one, I forgot his name. My mind went blank.
Beto.
Yeah.
The answer is Zian Fleming with 9. Yeah. The rest of those are all on 8. Fair play to them. Question 3. There's been 7 Premier League hat-tricks this season, conceded by 6 different teams. Can you tell me which club has conceded 2 Premier League hat-tricks? So 5 of them conceded 1.
Yeah, I've got an answer.
Conceded 2.
Yeah, go on.
Go on, Lewis.
Wolves.
Josh?
Burnley.
It's Bournemouth. Bournemouth against Kevin Schade and I've actually forgotten them. Igor Thiago, I think it was. No, it wasn't. Forgotten them.
Go yourself a host.
I know, tell me about it. Question 4. Last week, we asked which 2 teams were yet to concede a penalty in the Premier League so far this season. Sorry, yet to be awarded. So this week, can you tell me who's been awarded the most? Who's been awarded the most penalties in the Premier League this season?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Ready. Josh Lucas, far away.
Fulham.
Lewis?
Arsenal.
It's Brentford. It's Brentford. Clearly, I think Josh must have read the comments on the TikTok talking about that when everyone said Fulham.
Yeah, I did.
Everyone said Fulham was an awful shout by Lewis. Okay. So we go into question 5, the closest 2. And it's pretty tight, but Lewis, you do need to get this bang on. And all I'll say is bloody good luck to you. Because question 5 is regarding Bernardo Silva, who put in a great display versus Arsenal, putting Man City in the driving seat of the title race. Now, he is leaving on a free at the end of the season. Can you tell me how many appearances he's made for the Citizens in his entire career? All comps. How many appearances has he made for Man City? It's closest 2, and obviously bang on gets you 5 points as per. And if you get it, fair play. Fair play.
Yeah, I've got an answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Lewis, you need the points, so we're going to go to you first.
459.
Josh?
435.
Well, I can reveal that the answer is 450.
Nah.
2. It's 452. So you do get a point, Lewis, but Josh does win the quiz, I'm afraid. So fair play, Josh. But Lewis, you've got a bit of a habit of getting like 5 away, but not winning.
Yeah, it's
So
annoying. It's
you,
annoying.
you've got to fix that up. But that's the end of Hoof It for this week. So thank you very much for listening. Obviously, check out the social medias because we'll post the graphics of the teams. I might even draw up a little one myself just to prove that I have the best ball knowledge. But yeah, we appreciate you joining us. Thanks for having a chat with me, lads. And we'll see you all next week. All the best.